Hey everybody. So in this video we're going to talk about the steps in the co-op search process as a part of the overall co-op search strategy. Um, Students often find that the overall search process for a co-op is quite complex, but I am going to try and break it down for you into some easy phases to kind of understand in 16 easy steps. I know that 16 sounds a lot, but it really is pretty easy to understand once you kind of break it down into these 4 phases. Like the 4 phases kind of encapsulate the entering of the search portion where you're doing the introductory stuff, exploring all the opportunities for co-op and things that are available to you, evaluating all your different options, and then engaging in that co-op experience. So phase one. What is phase one? Phase one is entering the search. You enroll in PD 1011, Intro to Co-op for engineering. You pass that course. At the same time, your department is going to certify you for co-op. They're going to talk to your co-op advisor in the professional practice division, and they're going to talk to them about whether or not you are certified to co-op in the next coming year. And basically, certification includes your whether or not you've had enough classes in order to co-op, whether you've passed a certain number of classes, if you have a GPA requirement in your major in order to co-op. Once those certifications are sent to your co-op advisor, they'll send you communication about getting together for a group job meeting. Most of these job meetings are large group meetings. Sometimes they can be smaller groups, and sometimes they're one-on-one. But for the most part, you're going to have some sort of job meeting with your co-op advisor, and they're going to talk to you about the whole process. They're going to go over this entire sort of all these phases as well. But suffice to say that the general part of it is how to search for a co-op and tips and tricks on how to search for co-op within that specific major. After that job meeting, you're going to go into PAL, which is the resource we use for searching for co-ops and registering for co-ops, and then eventually assessing co-ops. You're going to go into PAL and you're going to upload your resume, get that approved by your advisor, and then in order to move on to the next phase of the search, you have to have that resume uploaded and ready to go in PAL. Phase two is exploring opportunities. This is the fun part. You are finally released to see jobs in PAL once you have that resume uploaded, and you get to rank jobs. Now, there are 3 types of rankings of jobs. It's very interested, somewhat interested, or not interested. For the most part, though, you're looking at very interested jobs. If you find a job that you're very interested in and you click very interested as a rank, that is a signal in the system to send an application to that employer when your resume is finally released by your co-op advisor. And so you're going to want to go in and rank as many jobs as you think that you're interested in as very interested, and that way those employers will see your resume. Once you've done ranking positions and you finalize those rankings, your co-op advisor will release your resume to the employers, and they'll be able to log into PAL themselves and look at your resume. Then, of course, you interview for jobs and communicate with employers the entire time. Moving on to the next phase requires an offer. And so once you get that offer and you're in phase 3, you're evaluating that all those options, right? Sometimes you might get 1 or 2 offers. Sometimes you'll get an offer really, really soon, and you'll have to figure out what's best for me in my search strategy. My recommendation is anytime you get an offer is to contact your co-op advisor and just let them know that you've got an offer and here are the things you're thinking about, and ask any questions that you might have. But once you've got that offer and you accepted that offer, either verbally or written, a verbal offer is binding for co-ops. And so once you've accepted that offer, you're going to log back into PAL and you're going to click a button that says, I landed a co-op. It's a big blue button in PAL. You can't miss it. That triggers a system where the advisor goes in and approves that placement, which also goes to the employer. So if you logged into the wrong job, an employer will notify us that that was an inaccurate selection or what have you. But for the most part, everyone gets notified. You get an email saying you've landed a co-op. It's fantastic. Everyone's excited. And then you register for co-op through the university's systems. The move on to the next phase is basically going on to co-op, and that's really phase 4, is engaging in that co-op opportunity. You go on to the co-op, you complete your entire semester. During your semester, you fill out co-op assessments. There are 3 of them, one at the beginning of the semester, one in the middle of the semester, and one at the end of the semester. Your employer also fills out an assessment at the end of the semester about you, and they do that also in PAL. So it's important that when you're registering for your co-op through PAL, that you note what the name of your supervisor and their email address, so they are part of that system, and they can create an account in PAL if they're not already in it. Once you return to campus after your first semester of co-op, you're going to actually attend a reflection meeting with your co-op advisor. That's a requirement of the program. You can't get graded for co-op without doing that. Most advisors do individual meetings. Some advisors will do small group meetings. But in whatever style of reflection meeting that you have with your co-op advisor, you'll meet with them. They'll give you a grade for that experience. They'll review all of your assessments, and then they will set you for your next phase, which is going on your next co-op. There's some other phases that you should probably know about. After you've completed 2 co-op terms, you are eligible to change jobs. You don't have to change jobs. I know students who will do all 5 semesters of co-op at the same exact employer, and I know students will do 2 here, 2 there, and then their 5th one they'll do somewhere else. And so it really is up to you what you want to do and what's best for your career. But after 2, you are eligible. You can't change jobs after 1. You have to stick it out for 2. And then you can re-enter that job search. You actually have to go through PAL in order to apply for that job change. It's really easy to do. And then once you've done that, that triggers some notifications in the system that the co-op advisor needs to contact you, and you need to get confirmation from your employer that you're not coming back, because they'll get an email once your advisor approves that job change, letting them know that you're not coming back. So if you haven't had that conversation with your employer that you're not coming back, and they get this email, they might be very confused, and you're going to want to let them know that you're doing that before you even apply for that job change. You're going to obviously then upload a very brand new resume with all of your co-op material listed in your new resume. You're going to probably remove a lot of stuff, like a lot of high school stuff is probably going to get removed if you have high school stuff on there. And then you're going to re-enter basically the job search, co-op job search phase at search at phase 2. There is an unemployment phase. Should you do everything you were supposed to do for co-op searching wise, you worked with your advisor, you ranked all the jobs, you were active in that search, and you worked really hard, but for some reason, for whatever it is, really no fault of your own, you just didn't land a co-op. It does happen. It doesn't happen often, but it does happen. If that happens to you, don't worry. There is a system that we have in place that enables you to get credit for the work that you put in to search for a co-op but didn't get one. Because you have to complete 5 in order to graduate in the College of Engineering, but if you don't get a co-op for no fault of your own, we're not going to hold you back. We're going to give you something called a waiver for unemployment, and you have to talk to your co-op faculty advisor about that. It goes through a committee, the Professional Standards Review Committee, and they determine whether or not a waiver is justified, and if so, and your application is accepted, they'll give you a waiver for that 1 term of co-op, and then you'll re-enter the job search at phase 2. So these are the 4 phases of the co-op search process. Like I said, it's 16 steps, but when you really think about it, it's actually a really easy sort of process. And that's really it. And there you go.